Hey guys, it's me, Leaf. So before we get into the tutorial, I want to get two things out of the way. The first thing is the Windows tutorial starts at this time and the Mac tutorial starts at this time. The second thing is, I know that once you guys learn what you need to learn, you're probably going to click off the video. I did the same thing, it's okay. But if it did help you guys out, please leave a like. It would help me so much. I'm a small YouTuber right now, so it would really help me out. Let's get into the Windows tutorial. It's time to learn how to install BuildTools and also get a Spigot server up and running on Windows. So you need Java and Git. And apparently Git gets installed with the most latest version of BuildTools. So that's convenient. And also Java, most people have it, but just make sure you have Java 8 or higher installed. Great. So you download BuildTools.jar from this link right here. And once you've downloaded it, you can just bring it out. I'm going to create a new folder. And what we're going to do is we're going to call this BuildTools. That's fine. And we're going to just drag this in here. Let's open up this folder. And instead of having to do all this stuff, you can actually just skip this on Windows by making a .bat file, which is a batch file. And this pretty much automates terminal code. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this. We're going to create a new text file. And we can just call it BuildTools again, I guess, or whatever. We can call it literally whatever. And then inside it, we're going to edit it, copy and paste that. We're going to save it. Then when we get out of it, we're going to rename it to a .bat file. And it's going to ask us if you're sure you want to change it. And we are. And we can click that and run it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to enter 1.16.4. And that gives us the version. And now it is going to build us BuildTools. So this might take a little bit, maybe a couple minutes. I'll be with you guys in 1 second. All right, that took a little bit longer than normal for me. And you can see success, everything was installed successfully. So we're just gonna cancel out of that. Now if we go to our BuildTools file, or BuildTools folder rather, we're gonna see the Spigot 1.16.4 jar. This is what we need in order to make our Spigot server. So let's make a new folder and call it a Spigot server. All right. Now let's drag this Spigot 1.16.4 jar into here, and let's follow the wiki for the rest of the instructions. So let's do another start.bat file, or another .bat file. We're going to call it start.bat, and we're going to paste these installation instructions into it. So let's make a new text file. I'm going to call it start. We're going to do .bat, and then we're going to accept this, and then we're going to edit it. And inside the edit, we're going to do this, and we have to make some changes here. We have to dedicate a certain amount of RAM. In this case, I'm going to dedicate 2 gigabytes of RAM. So this first parameter is the minimum amount. This is the maximum amount. If it's the same, it's just going to be that amount the whole time. And then let's make sure spigot.jar is the same as the jar file in our folder. So this is going to be spigot-1.16.4.jar. And then we're going to save this. And then we're going to run this just like we ran the last one by double clicking. All right, when you run it the first time, it's going to inform you that the EULA is not completed. So all we have to do is go to the EULA.txt, change this to true. Then we can file save. Now we can actually run our server. It's time to download BuildTools and create a Spigot server on Mac. So let's do this by looking at the prerequisites here on this web page. This will be in the description below, as I already mentioned. All right, on Mac. So we need Git and we need Java. So Git and Java should come pre-installed on most Mac machines. If not, you can download it with these links here. Great. So let's download BuildTools.jar. This is going to be the jar that we use to run BuildTools. Let's make a quick folder here. Let's call it Spigot-1.16.4, and let us drag our BuildTools.jar into this folder. So let's open up this folder, and this is what we currently have in it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our terminal, and we're going to change our directory to whatever folder or place that we have our BuildTools.jar currently located. So I'm going to change, for me, it's going to be my desktop. Then I'm going to change directory into my Spigot spigot-1.16.4 folder. Now that I'm in the same, I can perform a long listing and then find BuildTools.jar. Great. So on Mac, the next thing we're going to do is when we have changed our directory to the same place, we're going to run these two commands. So let's just copy and paste both of them and hit enter. This is going to generate our BuildTools folder, and this is going to have all the tools that we need in order to create our Spigot server eventually. This might take anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes depending on how fast your hardware runs. In my case, it's probably going to take about 2.5 minutes. Alright, great. Now that this is done, we have completed everything successfully. Now we have our Spigot snapshot, Spigot API snapshot. We also have our Spigot file here that we can use to make the Spigot folder for the server. So let's make a new folder and let's call it Spigot. Let's call it Spigot Server. Great. Now we can copy and then we will paste our Spigot jar file. So I'm going to paste it here. And now we have this. So now let's go over to this to find the code. Down here in mac.os, it recommends us to create a start.command file. The way we're going to do this is we're going to go to TextEdit, which is an application pre-installed on Macs. And we're going to format it, make plain text. This is important. It won't work if you do it otherwise. I'm going to change some things in this file. First thing we're going to change is the amount of dedicated RAM we give to our server. So the first parameter is the minimum amount of RAM, and then the max is the maximum amount of RAM. So I'm just going to set it to 2 both times, so my server, when it is running, will always get 2 gigabytes of RAM given to it. The next thing we need to change is make sure this spigot.jar matches the name of your spigot.jar. So in my case, it's going to be spigot-1.16.4.jar. Alright, now that's done, we can save. Let's make sure we save it in the same folder. In this case, it knows. Alright, and we're going to call it start.command. Great. Now we have to give our terminal permission to run this .command file. Let's go to our terminal, and the command we're going to run in here is chmod space a plus x space, and then we're going to drag start.command into our terminal, and that's going to link the direct link where it's located, and then we're going to run that. And that gives us permission to run this command. So let's run the command, and we're going to get stopped because we have not accepted the EULA, which is their terms of service. And then let's go to the EULA.txt. Now the way we accept this is by double clicking on it, changing this right here, this text, to true instead of false, saving it, then running start.command again. Now this will generate our Spigot server. This is going to have everything it needs to run the Spigot server, all the files and such auto-generated into it. It might take a little bit, just like creating the BuildTools folder as well, but when it is done, we will have everything we need. The way we access this server, since it's running on our local machine, the IP we give it, instead of giving it a typical IP, we're going to give it the IP of localhost. That server, localhost. Oh, I already made one. But once we connect to the server, we're going to be logging in to our own server. And we're actually going to get a confirmation in the terminal that's running the server. It's going to tell us that the player joined, and also their UUID, which is a unique ID given to every Minecraft player. Great. So it's all working.